Get ready for Prophets and Ballers, where politics are a passion, sports are a living, and God is a given.
Hey! Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Welcome to another episode of Prophets and Ballers. Been a hot few seconds, but boy, am I excited for this show today. It's the talk around the world, the subject around the world, and what's going to make this really intriguing is we have Muslims and Christians and all sorts of likes that we can do a round table to see where we stand, hopefully where we go, and as a country, where the United States will ultimately end up with now two wars, proxy, one with Ukraine, Russia, and obviously we will defend Israel. So it's been a while since, hasn't been a while since he's had Kentucky Fried Chicken, but it's been a while since we've heard his voice. Welcome back to the show, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Jeff Legel. What's up, brother?
What's up?
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So after 10 months of a sabbatical, that's how excited you are? How are you?
Can't wait to get going. I'm super pumped. I'm going to give you my Ben Stein today. So
You're going to give us your Ben Stein. Really quickly, what do you think about our Steelers? We have a lot of Steeler followers and fans. We're the Kings of the North as we speak. We're in first place. You never saw that happening, did you?
No, it's not sustainable the way it's going. What are they averaging? 1 TD a game?
Yeah.
Yeah. The OC's got to go. He's a clown.
But I don't think he's going to go. Steelers, first of all, never fire mid-season.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, they never, ever fire mid-season. The other thing with this are very loyal to Matt Canada for many reasons.
None that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think Kenny Pickett is a little handcuffed with the system that he's in, or you think he's going to come out of his shell, kind of take over and take the lead? And
no, I don't think you'll get a true judgment on him until they get a competent OC. Because while he's missed several open throws, there's no semblance of a passing scheme to really pass judgment on him fully yet. He's got to have a competent OC to work with before we could pass judgment to see if he's just a middle of the road QB, or if he's going to actually be a guy.
Right. And this might be because of the memory of the moment, or because I watch him play more than other defensive players. Am I crazy for saying TJ Watt might be the most dominating defensive player, including Aaron Donald, that I've seen the last 5 to 10 years?
No, I mean look at the Steelers' record when he doesn't play. I mean, what are they, like 1-8 or something ridiculous like that? I mean, the guy is such an impactful player. I don't think it's a stretch at all to say that. And he does
almost as if he's an offensive player.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like when he's out of the lineup, he has such an impact on games that they can't replace him.
Yeah, I was with my son. My son absolutely loves TJ Watt. Made a comment that when he asked me who's better, him or Nick Bosa, I was muffled. I didn't know. He was like, "Come on, Dad." yada yada yada. And now I really see his point. Speaking of football, let's go out to the Pacific Northwest. Mr. P, how you doing?
I'm doing better than Kenny Pickett. I tell you right now, I don't know what you guys are smoking, but boy, he can't throw for jack nothing, man. This guy is literally dude, how many overthrown passes? How many times do you see his feet moving? Like you seen the Happy Feet movie? Oh man, this guy
Listen,
just can't. I'm sorry, Matt
anybody that
Canada.
has anybody that's affiliated with Antifa, we can't take his can't take his statements seriously.
No, I'm serious. I can't see it and pick it, man. I try to blame Canada, and at one point I was like, you know what? Like, your guys' offensive line sucks. The quarterback can't throw for jack. Your defense, TJ Watt's the only guy in your defense with what's his name, Barry Jr. What's his name, Porter Jr.
Yeah, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, dude.
Saving interception last.
Yeah, I
Must
love
be
it. Saltz's brother was like, look, you could trade everybody out of the Steelers and just keep TJ Watt, Porter Jr., and I think that's all he said. But man, I'll tell you, I'm pretty happy with the Seahawks. Actually. You know, Smith, I'd rather take him over a lot of quarterbacks right now. Seattle's doing pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Gum chewers got him going.
Hey, it works, man.
Jaws of a pit bull.
It works, man.
Imagine if Pete Carroll gets a hold of you.
Oh yeah.
On.
Yeah, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, folks, drum rolls. So let's just get right to it. It's very controversial because it's very, very shocking to see so many opposing views. And what we're talking about is the Middle East. What happened last Saturday when overnight Hamas did a surprise attack, what they're calling the 911 of Israel, where there was a lot of devastation, fortunately. And now, fast forward, we see in America almost half of people screaming and yelling, "I stand with Palestine." So we
You
can
really think it's half, though?
No, I wouldn't say it's half.
I mean, it's Times Square, it's Harvard, and it's, the liberal universities. But I wouldn't say it's half the people, though.
No, I wouldn't say it's half the people, but I would say, I mean, if you take the faculties, schools, you also have to take the students, because it's faculty that indoctrinates students. How many
Right.
college students do we have in this country that are standing with Hamas or Hezbollah, and that matter? That's absolutely.
It's the irony of ironies when you have. I mean, let's face it. These kids today, who the them's out there, right? And they want to side with a group that would throw them off a building if they were over in Palestine, like literally.
Absolutely, but I guess where I'm intrigued is this a movement of more than supporting Palestine? Because let's be honest, truth be told, these people didn't know where Ukraine was. These people didn't know where Palestine and Israel were before all these things happened. Is
Right.
this a movement that's completely tied to the anti-American movement because we are aligned with Israel? Do you think it's more of an anti-American movement than a pro-Palestine movement?
That's a good point. It very well could be
Great
because
point.
a lot of that sentiment is born out of the fact that they don't like the way our country is, or they don't like what our country was founded on. They don't like our country's history, so therefore they hate America, even though America affords them the opportunity to have free speech without any consequences. Try that in Palestine, try that anywhere in the Middle East and see what happens. And it's just, on one hand, it makes me want to just say, let's all pitch in, get them tickets, fly them over there, and drop them off. But on the other hand, too, we are a country that honors free speech. But then that begs the question, how far does free speech go? I mean, because this unfortunately can be also construed as hate speech, and that's not allowed. At least the left doesn't allow it from the right, but unfortunately it seems like when the tables are turned, they're allowed to do it.
Right. And I come from the angle of being a proud Muslim. So hopefully that piques a little bit more interest in people. My problem is that you have, first of all, dangerous group in that area is Hezbollah, and they're the big dogs out there. They control because they're getting funding from.
Yeah.
They've built quite a force there. Hamas, they claim that they're protecting the Palestinians, but they are like the Taliban, where the Taliban claim that they're going to help Afghanistan, start a new Afghanistan, but meanwhile they've imprisoned them.
Yeah.
That's where my heart hurts. Is the Palestinian civilians, just like the Israel civilians, just like any country civilians. It's never the civilians, right? It's always the government,
Right.
or the or the activist groups that cause so much pain on other people. But if you want an Islamic point of view, 85% of Muslims are Sunnis, and only 15% are Shia. Only 15%. And guess what Hezbollah is? They're Shia. And guess what country practices Shia enormously? Iran. So just can't have Hezbollah and Hamas, because Hamas is Sunni, Hezbollah is Shia, yet.
And for those who don't understand that, Salts, give them a brief outline. They hate each other, right?
Yeah, they absolutely cannot.
They've fought each other since they've been around, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They cannot stand each other whatsoever. If you look, the bloodiest war of the last 50 years is the Iran-Iraq war.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was over 1 million deaths. Can you look that up, Mr. P? How many deaths on Iraq war? And again, right? You have a lot of Sunni.
Around 500,000.
500,000, 500,000. Wow. So it's this Sunni Shia problem to begin with, but what Harvard and our youth really need to understand is that these groups do not represent Palestine in which way. Don't represent Muslim people in which way. They are brutal, savage terrorists that will
Amen.
that will behead a Palestinian in a nanosecond, no different than beheading. Unfortunately, we heard the stories over the weekend, the Jews of Israel. So, my take on this is I really hope that education process with our youth really starts now. We're running out of time because we have been indoctrinated. This right here, this situation, right out of the gate, emphasizes more than any other event that I've seen how indoctrinated have become, to the point that just 20 some years ago, the terrorists came to New York and destroyed 3,000 lives, affected millions of people. And most of these students weren't born then. And now that they're born, etc., they might not know the 911 history.
Well, they're about to, unfortunately, and this is scary, they're about to realize it here soon because of Biden's open border policy. Many experts agree that they're here now. Hamas is here, other terrorist cells are here, and if you saw today the reports where Hamas is calling on the world to go ahead and start with jihad in the cities all over the world, and guess what's going to happen with all those? And isn't it funny that Biden's open border policy, when you look at the mass humanity that was crossing our border without any kind of checks, they were all military aged males. I didn't see women and children at all out of them. And then Biden just a few days ago comes out and states that it's now is the time to finish the wall.
Yeah.
When they condemned it when Trump was building it, now he's like, well, we got a problem. We need to finish the wall. That's a little too late, Sleepy Joe. I mean,
Absolutely.
You were too busy playing politics, and all you wanted to do was oppose your opponent's, policies, and you put America's safety on the back burner when you did it.
Yeah.
Now you got a real problem.
And that's extremely sad. This is one of the saddest administrations that we have ever seen.
It's a joke.
And you hit the nail on the head. Just to go opposite of Donald Trump, not just him, but the entire left wing, just to go to the opposite of what Donald Trump, I don't know what point they were trying to make, but if anything, they've taken a flashlight and shined on all of his successes, because everything they've done opposite of Trump has completely backfired and failed. You're listening to profitsandballers.com, wherever you listen to us, wherever you listen to our podcasts. Please share us to as many people as you can. Hit the like buttons. Please leave a comment, 5-star reviews. That's going to help us out the most. We want to climb up the ladder. We need your help. Takes a second. Help us beat these algorithms. And the same thing, on our YouTube channel, where we do our sports card reviews and breaks. Please visit us on YouTube, and you'll really, really enjoy those sports cards. Now, going back to Joe Biden, in a nutshell, how do you think this plays out? He gave a speech that with Israel, no matter what. But at the same token, he has let Hezbollah, Hamas, the cartels deep into our country where they're going to be rooted here. By the time Biden leaves, should he not have a second term, you're looking at 12 million illegal immigrants. Looking at 12 million illegal immigrants. And that right there has us on the brinks of eternal,
Yeah, I'm actually on the site right now. The U.S. Mexico border update. At the moment, there's 8,000 people per day. This week.
Yeah.
That's the highest level it's been since.
So yeah, 8,000 per week, as Trump says, right? You should triple or quadruple that
No,
number.
8,000 per day.
Per day, yeah.
Yeah.
So double or triple that number.
Yep.
Because they're gonna sandbag the number.
Yeah, that'd be 200, about 225,000 a month. Do the math for a year, so it's a lot of people. 2.53 million people crossing every year. They've been doing this since Joe Biden's been president.
Yeah.
Why do that to America? I don't know. I honestly don't know what the agenda is, and I know I've heard this 12 million. They're going to incubate and they're going to grow, etc., and that's going to be Democratic Party supporters, so on and so forth. For that type of agenda, whenever you win that type of agenda, words to put your own citizens at such risk, I don't buy that. I don't buy that theory one bit. So, can any of you explain to me what do you guys think the left wing is thinking? They have this open border policy. What is the gist of it?
So that they can get as many Democratic votes as possible so that they never lose again.
Oh, so you do buy that theory?
Yeah, 100%.
And the enemy's just exploiting it.
Yeah. And the irony is going to be that the enemy hates everything that they stand for on the left.
Because
Here's the thing. Look, they're going to.
I mean, you can use the word evil.
When I say they, I'm talking the left. They're going to find out, unfortunately, painfully, what they've done, because here's the fact of the matter. Who's at high risk right now if these terror cells are in place now and waiting to carry out attacks on the homeland?
The inner cities.
Well, the inner cities, but the inner cities, we're talking New York, Chicago, like Los Angeles, those types of inner cities. And those are all Democrats, right? Democrats scream about defunding the police and, that kind of thing. They're against our military and all this. Well,
against guns.
Against guns.
Can you imagine that?
Guess what's going to happen? If these terror cells are in place, what do you think is going to happen if they come down to Alabama or Arkansas and decide to try and raise hell? What do you think is going to happen? They're going to find out. They're going to FAFO.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah.
And the good old boys and all that, and those people that have guns are going to wipe them out. I promise
Absolutely.
you. Because they talk about how many registered gun owners are in the United States right now. Can you look that up, Mr. P?
Yeah.
Like an estimate, like how many? Because take that number and multiply it by about 5.
Yeah, 81 million.
Okay, 81 million registered gun owners. How many of those gun owners only have one gun?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right? Do you know how many guns that the registered gun owners have? Do you know how much ammo they have?
yeah, this is crazy. So 120 half guns every 100.
Yeah. So, yeah, they'll have a bad day if they decide to come to the heartland of the United States and try and raise hell.
Yeah, and they
Now
will.
they'll go easily
But-
through New
But
York
why
and-
would they, right? Because they just want to
Right.
get into the most densest
yes,
populous.
of course, yep. And the they thems are going to be done.
Yeah. Create your own monster.
Yep, that's right.
Monster ends up biting back.
Yep.
But this is a complicated subject. But for me to wrap up the Middle East situation, obviously, difference peaceful. Trump was in office with the Abraham Accords, but ultimately, you have the United States that on countries like Brazil and already going away from the U.S. dollar, now Iran, etc., that are high traders of oil. Ultimately, my opinion, political game in this. They're very involved. That attack Saturday night was well more orchestrated than just a bunch of Hamas, crazy. What terrorists, that some of their objectives have been is to draw America to a World War situation where they face multiple countries. Scary thing is you have Iran, Russia, all aligned. Happens so quickly. And for those of you that you wanted normal, well, this is what normal politicians do. This is actually normal. In the world of politics, war is normal. Chaos is normal.
Because they profit from it.
Yes. You guys got spoiled when Trump was in office, where the only inflammation that was happening across the world was mean tweets, mean words. Like literally.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't you rather have that world back versus complete chaos? Because this is, when you said, I'm talking to the voters, I want to go back to normal. Well, guess what? Politicians are groomed to lie. They're groomed to follow the where the money is, the lobbyists, the banks. They're groomed to be globalists. And whereas your outsiders like a Trump or a Vivek, right? They completely come from the outside where they have regular 2020 vision. Whereas politicians try to make our vision blurry, but those who simply ignore the CNN, the CNBCs of the world, etc., and the legacy medias, you see it 2020. And now you see why politicians are so harmful. And, as I said, as a Muslim, I apologize for the representation that the savages are trying to represent. They are not Muslim at all. That 80% of the world Muslim population, Sunni, Hezbollah is Shia, and it's Hezbollah that's going to get involved and get Iran more and more involved. But I will say this. You agree with many people who have said the Middle East will never, ever look the same, fortunately. This one is going to be extremely ugly.
Yeah, I mean they're calling it the second Holocaust. Pretty bold statement.
Well, when you have civilians at a concert, a peace concert, getting slaughtered, that sounds like another Holocaust coming for sure.
Yeah.
When you have civilians killed in their beds, babies, mutilated and murdered, I mean, that's what this is. They're trying to do an ethnic cleansing, and that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, but the difference this time is that they're armed. They have great intel.
Oh yeah,
Have the weaponry and soldiers. Wipe out Gaza.
and it make no mistake that was it the Israeli Minister of Defense that said that they plan on making Palestine feel this for the next 50 years. I mean, the Gaza Strip's going to get leveled.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the sad part, right? That's the sad part because it's like Hamas is essentially a terrorist group in Palestine.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is part of the political party. It is a political party in Palestine, but like Salt was saying earlier, it's never the civilians.
Yeah, the Palestinians they didn't vote them in,
and that's why
didn't bring
there's so
them
much
in.
defense on their side. It's like,
Yeah.
look, you're gonna go after them. Don't just bomb their homes, their livelihoods. Just because that's where a particular terrorist group came from.
Yeah. I mean, they're one of the greatest intel units in the world. Is it Mossad?
Yeah.
Israel?
Well, that's what they're saying, that they don't understand how this happened, and they are calling this is Israel's 9/11 from a standpoint of the failure of the intelligence department to stop this from happening. Like, how did this happen?
Wow.
How did this actually take place? Like Salt said, they have phenomenal intelligence, and they've interviewed. I've seen some interviews where they some of the Israeli military, especially those that are tasked with security, and they're like, they don't understand how this happened. Like, it's mind-blowing how this happened without them knowing. So, of course, we understand why 9/11 happened here with the failures of our intelligence, because it was the stupid ass FBI and CIA that didn't want to share information.
Yeah. Isn't the Mossad like the best in the world in intelligence?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even more than CIA, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're a whole different level.
And if these guys couldn't catch him, right, what do you think is going to happen on our land?
Right. Yeah.
These guys aren't talking to nobody, right? They probably put it on a piece of paper and then wipe their ass with, flush it down the toilet. That's their plan, right?
What has to happen? So the foreign policy, or not so much the foreign policy. But the foreign policy as well. constantly war, is that they're going to have to expose terrorist groups. They have to dig him out. No different what they did to Saddam, right? He went hiding in a hole. Gotta dig these people out. You saw what Trump did to what's his name, Baghdadi, Al Baghdadi. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Al
he
Baghdadi.
died like a dog. Remember that?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Yeah, but no, they have to um, really dig in deep with Mossad to bring out the Hezbollah, Hamas. Well, we know the leaders, but to bring them out, and then also it's time that Iran gets exposed because Biden and Obama have been supporting Iran now.
Well,
Since,
Biden just sent $6 billion to them on
since
9/11.
2000, that's 15 straight years, including Trump, supporting Iran. Iran's money goes to the terrorist groups, Hezbollah, which are the Shia groups. That's what needs to happen. The Middle East will change forever, but you have to gut out what the real problems are there. First place, who are the puppet pullers, puppet string? Who's pulling the strings of? Right? Palestine's not pulling any strings. Gaza, or Hamas and Hezbollah aren't pulling. There's powerful nations pulling these, and powerful nations know that Israel and America are aligned. So going after Israel is no different than going after America, that part of the world. And that's my take, folks. Please give us a like, subscription on YouTube, Prophets and Ballers. Go to our platforms where you listen to the podcast. Give us likes, comments, reviews, 5-star reviews. Please, please help us beat the algorithms. I guess I'm going to finish it off with you, Slags. How do you see this playing out? And Mr. P, any comments? Jump in.
It's gonna be ugly, like you said. This is going to be something that Israel is not going to back down from. They're not going to stop. In other words, if Biden tries to tell them to cease fire, whatever, they're not going to stop. I believe them. I take them at their word when they say that they want Palestine to suffer for the next 50 years for what they did. And I'm taking them at their word. And I don't doubt for a minute of their intentions to hold true to that threat and promise.
And Netanyahu in Israel is not known to bluff.
No, hell no.
They are not known to bluff.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be torturous for the next half century. But the question is, before that ever happened, they're going to have a World War III within the next the pace that we're on, right? You have think about it, you have NATO and Russia and China on one side. Now you have America and Israel against Iran the other side. So
what was happening in Syria? Wasn't Russia and US proxy war less press than what we? They've been in a proxy war.
Well, the thing that I can comment on that is that Hillary Clinton, one of her promises were that she was going to put a no-fly zone in Syria the very moment she got in the White House. So these people are constantly screaming, Russia, 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 Russia. She wanted to go to war. against Russia day one. Why would you put a no-fly zone in Syria? Because you want to go to war versus Russia. And that's the thing the left does. And it aggravates me because everything that they're screaming, they're actually doing themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it look like the right wingers love Russians, etc. But meanwhile, the right's not even paying it. Russia, etc. The right is paying attention to the evils of the world.
Right.
They want to dig out the evils. They got Putin. They got Ukraine. Ukraine, there may be a half a millimeter better than Russia as far as
Right.
corruption and the evilness, that they can produce to their own citizens and the rest of the world. And now it's, in my opinion, it's gotten almost to the red zone, to the 20-yard line of getting in serious tension with Iran that could lead to
Hopefully, we could pick it off like Witherspoon did and get a pick six.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it just seems the military complex, the left wingers, I truly believe that's why they are so scared of going in. Just like JFK, right? He wanted to get out of Vietnam. He wanted out of Nam. Boom, he gets killed.
Yep.
Right? Trump comes in. The first thing he's going to do is try to stop the Ukraine war. So,
it's going to cost a lot of those politicians a lot of money if he does that.
Yeah. So to the youth that please take a deeper dive, and to everyone, take a deeper dive when you just blindly say, "I stand with Palestine." What are you standing with? Who are you standing with, and why? Ask yourself why. You have to ask, questions where, who got bombed, who got blindsided Saturday night, and then you say, you have to have a rhyme and a reason. Like when you say, "I stand with Ukraine," like what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
And the problem with these indoctrinated robots, they just read a few headlines, they hear a few buzzwords, and they just go along with it. And at the end of the day, they have no idea why they're standing with Ukraine or Palestine. And yeah, I got no much. I will keep an eye on this. We're gonna update this situation, our thoughts, our opinions. We hope you enjoyed this show. Until next time, remember, go to our YouTube, go to our TikTok, Instagram. Mr. P, tell us where they can.
Yeah, so you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Our YouTube, you'll find we love sports cards and collecting sports cards, making a new collection, are just getting started, and our collection and openings are for educate you on how to get started on this journey with us. Join us on this journey of sports card collecting, and I think you'll be plenty surprised on how much your assets will be worth in 3 to 5 years following the journey. So YouTube's the greatest place to find us, and all the podcast directory podcasts were there. So love.
Legs, take us out.
All right.
Take us out.
Hey, listen, scary times right now. It's time for you all out there who might be a little disillusioned. to start thinking for yourselves, because it's about to get real. And that's not something that's sitting very well with me. So stop listening to the media. Stop listening to what they're telling you how to think, and think for yourselves.
Let's hope the Iron Dome is as effective as your cholesterol.
Right.
All right.
Too early.
For Prophets and Ballers.
All right.
Until next time.
All right, fellas.